In Norway, we have a special law that tells us how to behave when we're out in nature. It's called the Outdoor Recreation Act. Norwegian law ensures that everyone can enjoy nature, regardless of who owns the land. We call this the right to roam. To know where you're allowed to go, it's important to understand the difference between inland areas and outlying areas. Inland areas include private house plots, gardens, yards, industrial areas, cultivated land, and the like. Outlying areas include everything that's not an inland area, such as forests, mountains, lakes, and beaches. In other words, most of the nature in Norway. The right to roam applies to outlying areas. There, you're free to go hiking, and you're allowed to light campfires in autumn and winter. You can spend the night in a tent or a hammock, and you can swim, paddle, row, and use a sailboat. The right to roam also gives you the opportunity to harvest from nature. For example, you can pick mushrooms, berries, and flowers, and fish for yourself in the sea. Children under the age of 16 are allowed to fish for free in lakes and rivers, but everyone else must buy a fishing permit. But the right to roam also implies duties that you must adhere to. The right to roam is about taking responsibility. When you're out in nature, you have a responsibility to be careful and show consideration for others who are also out in nature. That means other people, animals, and birds, but also nature itself. You have a duty to make sure you leave nature the way you found it, and that's why you must take all your garbage with you when you go home. Leave no trace, so that it will be just as enjoyable for you and others to return. You also need to make sure that you do not harm nature by breaking fresh branches or chopping down trees, and don't disturb animals and birds. If you meet grazing animals, maintain a good distance and remember to close gates and fences so they cannot get out. Use your right and remember your responsibilities when you head out into the wild. You can find the overview in the Outdoor Recreation Act. Have a great trip.